Who doesn't love giant mechs running rampant through cities, forests, and deserts, blowing everything around them to heck? Heading back to the hack and slash style of gameplay, SD Gundam Battle Alliance lets you pilot a multitude of suits from various series. And while there's a good number of suits available, I feel like we still need a lot more. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. First, the story. Now, I've watched a lot of Gundam over the years, and even I wasn't able to keep up with all the references made during the levels you play. The basic story of this game is quite simple, really. Okay, I'm lying, it's not simple at all. Basically, you play as Commander. Well, you guessed it, a commander that's out on a mission to go blow up some stuff. Along the way, you're sucked through a break, which is essentially a portal, that takes you to the G Universe, a digital recreation of the Gundam storylines. In these storylines, someone or something is disrupting the timelines and sending people and suits that aren't supposed to be there. You are tasked with going to these disruptions, whooping the butts of whoever's not supposed to be there, and fixing the timelines so that they become reality. Confusing, right? Well, it gets even better. Once you get done whooping the butts of these people, you then get to revisit these events as they appear in the actual history, just to make sure there's no more funny business happening. This is a very simplified version of what's happening, but for the sake of time, and just so I don't confuse everybody, we're going to stick with this. At its core, this game is a hack and slash looter RPG. You will be replaying the same missions an unfathomable amount of times in order to collect money, parts, and blueprints to unlock even more units to add to your arsenal. Missions can be taken alone, accompanied with AI partners, or online with up to 2 other people. The AI can be a bit funky at times, just kind of flying circles around enemies as they proceed to beat the snot out of you, but at times they work as amazing distractions as you pelt your opponent with a barrage of cannon fire. Combat is simple at its core, but it does get pretty complex when you try to bust out never-ending combos against your helpless opponents. I played on PC, and I can see that the controls they're not meant for keyboard and mouse. I ended up using an Xbox controller connected to my PC in order to stop my suffering. As for attacks, every unit gets a basic melee attack, a basic ranged attack, a couple of sub-weapons, and a special attack. Your goal is to string these together in flashy style and make your opponent go boom. Offense is pretty straightforward and works well. Defense, on the other hand, is a bit clunky, and we do have some issues. You have 2 choices. You can guard an attack, or you can evade them. Sounds pretty simple, right? Wrong. Enemies will normally unload a flurry of chained attacks that will leave you unable to do anything besides skirt around the outskirts of the battle, hoping that you're actually dodging the attacks. And guarding those attacks? Well, you have a guard meter that's depleted as you're hit, and when it runs out, you just kinda die. Now, there is a feature built in with guarding that, if performed correctly, will negate all damage. Well, the only issue with this feature is that you're essentially given a fraction of a second to hit the guard button just as the attack is about to hit you. This essentially becomes impossible to do if you're in the middle of a combo, as you can't interrupt a combo to guard, and if you can't actually see your opponent because of any of explosions or any of the flashy stuff that's happening on screen, you won't have any idea that they're actually about to attack you and whoop your butt. On a positive note, there are some skills you can unlock and some parts you can equip that do extend the time frame you have to trigger this perfect guard, but those are few and far between. Other than that small defensive issue, the combat is pretty solid for the most part. Beat the snot out of your opponent before they beat the snot out of you. Pretty simple. Now, one of the biggest issues with Battle Alliance, according to online posts, is the choice to make this an SD style game. Many people straight out said that they wouldn't be getting this game based on its look. And to that I have to give you a big huh? I can speak as a person that actually isn't a fan of the SD style, and the fact that this game is an SD style game did not influence my decision to play it at all. With that being said, if you want to know, this game, minus 2 cutscenes, is entirely the SD style, so if that is an issue for you, then you will not have fun playing this game. Special moves and flashy explosions are abundant, but it may be a bit much. Becomes a pain as you're pelting your opponent with a cloud of explosions to see if they're getting ready to attack themselves, and boom, you're grappled and at their mercy as they pummel your face. There is sadly no option to turn this down, so for now, unfortunately, we just have to rage about it and take out our frustrations on the helpless little grunts that are standing next to the bosses. Sound-wise, the game's great. It boasts a giant collection of various series soundtracks, including intros and songs heard throughout the series. Nothing is more nostalgic for me than watching Zero and Epion duke it out, as the rhythm emotion is blasting in my eardrums. Sound effects are also great. Though there is some bugs currently that cut out all sound effects besides the background music, which actually isn't horrible if the song is bopping. There is also an ability to add your own tracks, so that way they play when you perform a special attack, but this is also kind of bugged, and I haven't actually messed with this feature. Overall, with its issues and quirks, the game shouldn't be a straight write-off for Gundam or even hack and slash RPG fans. If you're on the fence about it, for sure wait for a sale. The game does have a full price tag, and if you're kinda iffy about it, it might not be worth it to you. I'd like to thank you very much for checking out this review, and look forward to seeing you all next time. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on that bell icon to be notified when I post my next video. Until next time, stay safe, take care of yourselves. Peace!